Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're talking about rotating watch bezels and the different types that I have in my collection. Um, Actually, I have another one here I meant to put in here, and I didn't set the time for 10:10 on this one like all the other ones. Man, I'm slacking here, I guess. I might have some other watches with different type of rotating bezels too, but I think these are basically all the different ones that I have. Originally, I was going to talk about elapsed time bezels versus countdown time bezels, but I thought this watch was a countdown time bezel, and when I got out of the box, it's not. It's I guess you call it a dual time bezel, and this one is bi-directional, meaning it can turn in either direction. But this watch is also offered with a countdown timer. I bought this on the secondary market. If I were to buy it new, I probably would have went with the countdown timer. More useful to me than a dual time bezel. Anyway, dual time bezel. Then we have an elapsed time diver bezel. Even though this technically isn't really it wouldn't be an ISO rated dive watch because it should have every minute ticked off on the bezel here, and it only has 1 through 15. Let's see. Can talk about the SKX too, but I wasn't planning on throwing this one in here. But another dive bezel, and this one here actually you can see has a indicator for every minute on the bezel here. That there is just some damage to the aluminum bezel insert. This was my beater watch for quite a while. Haven't worn it as much lately. But here's another example of an elapsed time dive bezel. And you can see every minute is ticked off on here as well. It's the bull of a devil diver. Anyway, we'll throw those off to the side here. This one, Submariner, is a 120 click bezel. Among the best bezel action I have felt. Hopefully you guys can hear that too. Very easy to turn this bezel. All right, so then here we have the Tudor Black Bay 58. Again, elapsed time dive bezel. This is a 60 click bezel though. Again, amazing bezel action. I don't know if I could pick between the Black Bay 58 or the Submariner for the best bezel action. They feel different, again, because it's 60 click versus 120 click. All right, let's keep going here. So now we have the true GMT 0 through 24, which I guess 1 to 24. And this is bi-directional again. And this moves, see, I guess it would be a 48 click bezel. Two. Actually, it's 24 click. So anyway, but again, the bi-directional can turn in either direction. This is a true GMT, or as the Germans call it, a UTC. What is UTC? Universal Time something, maybe? I don't know. If it was a Rolex, it would be called a GMT. Maybe one day I'll own a Rolex GMT. Again, elapsed time dive bezel here. And this has every minute indicated. So this would be a true ISO certified dive watch, 500 meter water resistance, and I think it's about 11 millimeter thick. I don't exactly remember, but it's quite thin considering it's a 500 meter rated dive watch. This one's a little bit harder to turn. The knurling is not quite as grippy, and the bezel action is a little more stiff, but you can still turn it. Very solid, positive clicks. Bezel is a little bit crooked on this one though. I do need to fix that one of these days. That involves loosening these tiny little screws. Okay, there's one right there. Hopefully you can see that. There's 3 of them on this bezel. So it's not a friction fit bezel where you need to snap it on. It's retained by those screws. Actually, this one has the same kind of system, and I did mess up one of the screws. Waiting for the screw to arrive. It's about, I think it was $30 for these screws. Actually, I thought there was only three of these screws. There's actually 4 of them. 1, 2, 3. There's a 4th one on here somewhere. I didn't realize that. Right there's a 4th one. It's a little bit different than the U50. But anyway, the point is this is also held on by the screw system. It's not a friction fit bezel. Okay, so here is the countdown timer, and this kind of started my whole idea for this video. And this is unidirectional, but as my understanding, the next version of this is supposed to have bidirectional, which would be nice because really a countdown, in my opinion, a countdown bezel should be bidirectional. This is the Van Banner Parking Master. So I don't think you'll see anywhere else this watch included with these other watches on a video like this. This crystal is really trippy. It gives some mean distortion on here. You can kind of see the indices and hands look a little choppy, but I think that's just due to the distortion of this heavily domed crystal. All right, and then pretty sure my only bronze watch in my collection. Again, it's just a 120 click bezel, but it's bronze, so I figured I'd throw it in. It's a little bit different of a bezel. And this is actually a bronze insert on a bronze bezel. Not quite sure why they do that. Maybe it gives them some different options for different colors. They could throw like a blue ceramic bezel on here if they wanted. And actually this is a 600 meter dive watch. As crazy as that sounds. And it's not actually the highest water rated watch in my collection. Actually, I'll grab that one too. What the heck, we'll just throw in watches around here. Let's just throw this one into, it's already kind of a weird video, so 1000 meter dive watch. Titanium case, ceramic bezel. Probably the craziest watch in my collection. But again, true dive bezel every minute. Indicated on there, elapsed time bezel. Kind of a stiff bezel action. And then you have the shroud to contend with as well. Taking a while to turn this one all the way back to 12 o'clock. But yeah, 1000 meter dive watch. That's just crazy to me. I think the Rolex Deep Sea is 1000 meters as well, but I won't have one of those in my collection. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between a countdown and elapsed time. So say you're grilling a steak and you want it, I don't know, rare, medium rare, whatever. Let's just say you want to grill the steak for 10 minutes. So here you have 10 minutes there. You take the 10 minutes and you put it on the minute hand right there. And then as the time goes by, this one here is meant for a parking meter. So from 10 to 5 minutes, you're in the orange zone, and then from 5 to 0, you're in the red zone. So when this minute hand hits the 0 marker there, your steak will be done, or at least 10 minutes will have gone by. if you want to do the same exercise with the elapsed time bezel, I guess this watch wasn't running, so I'm not all synced up anymore. But anyway, so what you'll do with this watch is you'll take the 0 mark here, the lume pip, and you would put that on the minute hand. Then as 10 minutes go by, this would hit 10, and then your steak is done. Could be totally wrong on that, but I think that's how it's supposed to work. So for me, a countdown timer is makes more sense, because you can just, set it to what it's supposed to be, and then you're gonna know when the minute hand hits the lume pip there. Then whatever you were timing, the time is up. Otherwise, you're gonna have to remember, oh yeah, I wanted to cook my steak for 10 minutes, and hit the 10-minute mark. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like countdown bezels, or do you like elapsed time bezels? I need to add a Sinn 104 back to the collection. I had one a while ago, and that also has a countdown bezel. I'm pretty sure it's bidirectional. I don't remember anymore. I have too many watches passing through, but I really like this watch too. The Damasko DA46, I think, or is it 42? I can never remember. DA46, right there. So this is hardened, the ice hardened steel, scratch resistant, and then it has the ceramic bezel. Actually, I don't think it's ceramic. It's I think it's a hardened steel coating as well. Anyway, I really like this watch, the Pilot watch. The bezel action on this thing is amazing too. I don't know if this is better or the Tudor. I believe this watch is about, I think it's about 1,500. Like I said, I bought it used. Actually, I have the bracelet with it too. Got a pretty good deal on it, but prices are changing on these because they're going to the in-house movement. This still has the old ETA movement. Made in Germany. But anyway, we're talking about the bezel, and let me just twirl this a little bit. This has ceramic bearings in here, and each click you can feel the bearing. I think they're on like a detent or a spring. You can feel that bearing going in and out when you're turning it. Yeah, I don't know. This one is smoother, but it feels like a definite positive click. And almost feels like it's on ceramic ball bearings as well. The clasp has the ceramic ball bearings, these little white spheres here. And when you close the clasp, you can just feel them. I don't know. You feel it with the safety clasp as well. Very hard pressed for me to pick the best bezel action. I think I prefer the Tudor Black Bay 58 over the Submariner. I kind of like the 60 click more than the 120. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Also, my SKX 009, something happened to this. It happened a while ago too. I had to take the bezel off and clean it, but it's not working very well. It's very stiff to turn. It doesn't even click anymore. I don't know what the heck happened to this thing. quite hard to turn it right now, actually. Anyway, see which one haven't I turned yet. This one here is a little bit different too. It's stainless steel, but ion plated. So it's got a bit of a different color tone to it. It is a black bezel. Well, this portion is blue. This is a patty. Uh-oh, do I have a scratch on there? I guess I do have a scratch on there. I didn't realize that. Well, that kind of sucks. Interesting. Oh well. If it's not ceramic, that's going to happen. Oh, this thing is super light. It's like I could blow on it and it'll turn. Really light bezel action. So yeah, that's kind of a random video, I guess, but let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you like the countdown bezel, or do you like the elapsed time bezel, or does it not really matter to you? I mean, I'm not going to not buy a watch because it doesn't have a countdown bezel, but I guess it's just what you're used to. And I do need to video my thoughts on both of these watches, each one individually, and then compare them to each other. And then I'll eventually compare these two as well. And I'll have so many, not really favorite watches, but I'd be really hard pressed to pick one to sell. This Zen U50 is such a nice watch. I mean, it's very different looking. I know the styling isn't for everyone, but I like it. It's such a cool watch. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I have plenty of video ideas floating around in my mind. Got to write them down one of these days. But yeah, I really enjoy making these videos. Hopefully you enjoy them too. And like the video if you've liked it. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on any of these watches. Or the bezel action, bezel design, dual time, GMT, elapsed time, countdown. So all kinds of options out there. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right, so I was cleaning up the mess here, and I realized I left the watch out. So hopefully you haven't left yet. I'll put a note in the video description to stay until the second ending here, because I wanted to talk about this watch here as well. This is a Halios Fairwind, and it looks like it has a somewhat typical elapsed time bezel. Numbers go from 0 to 60 in a clockwise rotation here. You'll notice it doesn't have every minute marked out, just every 5 minutes. But the interesting thing about this bezel is that it is, it's bidirectional. That surprised me when I first did the unboxing and rotated it in the other direction. So interesting choice by Halios here. I guess they realize probably no one is going to use this as an actual dive watch, so why not make it bidirectional? And it is 60 click as well. So as far as the bezel action, it it's pretty stiff. Not too hard to turn though, because of the nice knurling on the bezel here. It's somewhat similar to the Tudor Black Bay 58. Shall need to compare these two watches to each other one of these days too, if I have not already. I don't think I did. Yeah, night and day difference on that bezel action there. I mean, this is a good bezel. I mean, really no complaints about that bezel action, but this Tudor Black Bay 58 it's magical. I don't know what they did with this thing, but the bezel action is amazing on it. Yeah, very nicely done with the Tudor. So anyway, I think these are all the different rotating bezels that I have now. I can't believe I forgot this watch. Head off to the side here, but anyway, very high quality micro brand watch. Hopefully they don't raise the prices too much on the second version. Someone had commented on my video about this watch not being able to get it anymore, and I went and checked their website, and this version is being retired, and they're going on to a second generation. So anyway, this will actually conclude the video. Again, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.